Amina had always believed that marriages survived not on perfection, but on patience. For 3 years she had carried that belief close to her heart, defending it in every argument, every silence, every lonely night spent waiting for her husband, Ryan. She knew he was changing. She could feel it in the way he spoke less, stayed out more, and looked at her like she was a chapter he had already read and closed. But Amina kept telling herself, "It's just stress, it will get better." Her younger sister, Maryam, visited often and noticed everything Amina tried to hide. The way her voice trembled while saying, "He's just busy," the way she smiled too quickly to cover the pain, the way she avoided looking at her own reflection. Maryam tried to speak gently, "Aapi, I don't think things are okay." But Amina always brushed it aside. She had worked too hard to build this home. She wasn't ready to see it fall apart. Every night Ryan came home later than the last, smelling of perfume that wasn't Amina's, carrying excuses that were too polished, too practiced. Meeting ran late. Traffic, I'm tired. Amina listened quietly, nodding, while her heart collected every lie like a stone. One evening, Ryan didn't return at all. Amina stayed awake on the couch until the first light of morning touched the curtains. She finally called him at 6 a.m., and he picked up with a voice that sounded irritated, not apologetic. "I crashed at a friend's place. Why are you making it a big deal?" Amina felt something inside her crack, not loudly, but softly, like a thread snapping. Days turned into weeks. The distance between them grew like a wall she could no longer climb. She started noticing details she had ignored before. Ryan dressing better, smiling at his phone, hiding his screen when she walked into the room. Sometimes she caught a scent of floral perfume on his clothes, and it clung to her mind long after it had faded from the fabric. Maryam grew more worried. "Aapi, you can't keep pretending. Something is wrong." But Amina kept defending him, even when her own voice sounded like a lie. One Friday afternoon, Amina decided to surprise Ryan at his office with lunch, something she had not done in months. She packed his favorite biryani, wrapped it with a note that simply said, "Eat well. Come home early." When she reached his workplace, she learned he had taken the day off. Confused, she called him. He didn't pick up. Her heartbeat quickened. She drove around aimlessly for a while before stopping near a cafe they both used to love. As she sat in her car trying to calm herself, she saw a familiar silhouette through the cafe window. Her breath caught in her throat. It was Ryan, laughing. Not the tired, fake laugh he gave her at home, but a laugh that reached his eyes. Opposite him sat a woman. Younger, stylish, leaning forward with a warm smile. And then Amina saw it, her husband's hand resting on the woman's hand. Amina froze. Her ears rang. Her vision blurred. She felt like the ground beneath her had simply disappeared. Everything around her grew distant. The noise of traffic, the chatter of people, the warmth of the afternoon sun. All she could see was the man she loved sharing intimacy with someone else. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just sat still, as if her soul had quietly stepped outside of her body. Maryam called her at that moment. Hearing Amina's silent breath, she immediately sensed something was wrong. "Aapi, where are you? Are you okay?" Amina's voice barely came out. "I saw him." Maryam rushed to her location and found Amina sitting motionless in the car, her eyes empty but full of 1,000 emotions she couldn't express. When Maryam saw what Amina had witnessed, she held her tightly. "Poor sister, your husband is cheating on you," she whispered, her voice trembling between anger and heartbreak. Amina didn't speak. Tears finally escaped her eyes, slow and quiet, like they had been waiting too long. They drove home without a word. Amina walked into her house with the calmness of someone who had already lived through the worst. She prepared tea, placed cups on the table, and sat down as if nothing had happened. Maryam watched her, confused. "Aapi, talk to me." Amina smiled sadly. "I always feared this moment. But now that it's here, I don't feel broken. Just empty." She opened her phone and saw Ryan's unread messages. "Going to the gym, don't wait for me, I might be late." Lies layered like dust on old furniture. By evening, Ryan returned home, pretending everything was normal. He kissed her forehead casually, the same forehead he had kissed years ago with love, and now with guilt. Amina stepped back. Ryan looked surprised. "What's wrong with you?" Amina stared at him, her eyes no longer soft, no longer begging for answers. "Where were you today, Ryan?" He hesitated. She noticed it. A moment of fear flickered across his face. "I told you, I had work." She said nothing. She simply placed her phone on the table and showed him the picture she had taken, his hand holding the other woman's. Ryan's face drained of color. All the excuses he had prepared died on his lips. "Amina, please listen to me, it's not what you think." "It's exactly what I think," she said quietly. He tried reaching for her hand, but she stepped back again. "Why, Ryan, why didn't you just tell me you didn't love me anymore?" His voice shook. "I made a mistake." Amina shook her head. "Mistakes are sudden. This was a choice you made every day." For the first time in years, she saw fear in his eyes. But she felt no satisfaction. Her heart was too tired for revenge. She didn't scream. She didn't collapse. She just walked to the bedroom, took off her wedding ring, placed it gently in his palm, and whispered, "You broke something that can't be repaired. And I can't carry this pain anymore." Ryan tried to stop her, but Amina picked up her bag and left the house. Outside, the night sky welcomed her with a cold breeze, but it felt kinder than the home she had just walked out of. Maryam was waiting in the car, ready to take her to her parents' house. When Amina sat beside her, Maryam held her hand tightly. For the first time all day, Amina let out a deep breath, the kind that releases years of silent suffering. She didn't know what her future looked like. She didn't know how long it would take to heal. But she knew one thing. She was finally free from a love that had already left her long ago. And sometimes freedom, even when painful, is the beginning of a new life.